Is there any hope of a compromise on the payroll tax cut by the end of this year? Joining me from Capitol Hill, Michigan Republican Dave Camp, the chairman of the Tax Writing Ways and Means Committee. Chairman Camp, welcome to Bottom Line. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks a lot, Mark. Thanks for having me.
Mr. Chairman, Speaker Boehner named you as one of the 8 conferees from the House side to negotiate a deal with your Senate colleagues. The 8 of you met last night. Give us a sense of what that meeting was like. Do we have any consensus formed yet?
Well, we've been meeting as Republicans because we believe that the path forward is really to extend certainly the payroll tax cut for at least a year. We think that tax holiday is so important and we need certainty. To do something like that for just 2 months doesn't even match the quarterly reporting businesses do. And many payroll processors and business groups, employer groups have said, look, this isn't going to help. It really is disruptive. And so we really think that getting to a year, and the way to do that is to have the president ask Senator Reid to appoint conferees so we can resolve the differences between the direction the House has gone and the direction the Senate has gone.
Mr. Chairman, you say that some of the business folks you talk to say that would be disruptive, but wouldn't failure to reach a deal be even worse?
Well, we think, and that's why the House has passed a 1-year extension. We think that the payroll tax holiday, the unemployment issues, obviously having physicians not get a 30% pay cut, those who see Medicare patients. We think all of those policies are important. But one of the problems we had with Washington is this temporary policy that only lasts a few weeks. That then there's even more uncertainty as you get to the end of that deadline. So let's put this aside. Let's put this to rest for a while. Let's extend these policies for at least a year, and then we can move on to the other business that we need to face. But we definitely could do this by the end of the year if we would just get the conference committee going. Look, this is a process that's been around for several hundred years.
Yes.
Really, it's a Jeffersonian process. We had conference committees, 2 of them just in the last month. One on a defense bill that got 93 votes in the Senate. Those committees are to resolve the differences between the House and Senate bills on a variety of issues.
Now, Mr. Chairman, are there any areas where you think that the Republicans may find common ground with the president and with Senate Democrats?
Well, we know in the 2 bills, for example, there already is common ground on the Keystone Pipeline issue, that important job creation measure. That's in the Senate bill, that's in the House bill. Where clearly, if we have a conference, that's probably not going to be an issue of contention because
Mr.
it's
Chairman,
in both bills.
Isn't the Keystone Pipeline a non-starter because the president says there is still some environmental concerns? So putting it in the bill, did that achieve the objective, which was to at least have further discussion on this? Because some Democrats, particularly Majority Leader Reid, see that as a non-starter. Why can't that be voted on separately?
If that was a non-starter, they put it in a bill that 83 of them voted for. So if we had a conference agreement, which we need to do, which is the process for resolving our differences, what you do is you take off the table items that are in both bills because you don't need to conference those. There's agreement on those. That's clearly an issue that there's agreement on. We need to move forward onto those issues. Obviously, we both agree on extending the payroll tax cut and tax holiday. What it is how long. We think a longer period of time is more helpful. Why have a $167 tax holiday? We think it should be $1,000 for the average family. So having a longer period of time is beneficial for working Americans.
Well, today the Wall Street Journal was critical of congressional Republicans, saying that you and your colleagues failed to put together, quote, a unified House and Senate strategy. And the Journal added, Republicans did earn a strategic victory by attaching that Keystone Pipeline provision to the payroll tax extension. But again, quoting here, Republicans are drowning out that victory in the sounds of their circular firing squad. How do you respond to that?
Look, the Senate has one bill, the House has another. It's not unusual for the Senate to go in one direction and the House to go to another, as they did in the defense authorization bill. A conference was appointed the same day the defense authorization bill passed, and that conference agreement came to a conclusion in a week. So this can be done. There's differences between the way the Senate views this and the House. We need to have the Senate conferees appointed. Look, they need to come here and finish their work and not go on vacation for a month. I'm here, the conference is here, we're ready to go to work as soon as they're ready.
Mr. Chairman, congressional Democrats say the House leadership is simply caving to members of the Tea Party. How has the Tea Party influenced the narrative in this debate? Are you feeling heat from more conservative elements of your party to reject any deal that the president and Majority Leader Reid want?
I think there was pretty strong bipartisan support. We had a bipartisan bill that passed the House that extended these items that we've been talking about for a year. That was not just a Republican-only position. That was bipartisan. what the difference is really between the direction the Senate's gone with this temporary fix that really doesn't help move these issues forward and get them off the table and resolve them so we can move on. I think one of the things people are concerned about is a constant churning in Washington that goes on in the lack of resolution on anything. If we could get this resolved for a year, we can address some of the other concerns that are facing the country, like a real jobs plan, fundamental tax reform, issues that Americans want to hear about.
Mr. Chairman, in about 10 seconds, is a deal going to get done before the 31st?
If the president could ask the Senate to appoint conferees, Senator Reid, we could do this deal by the 31st, no question about it.
The chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee, Dave Camp, Republican from Michigan, joining us. Mr. Chairman, appreciate your time today. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Mark.